Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Tom Johnson begins now.
Good evening. Vulnerable veterans are being left with no option but to travel interstate for appropriate mental health care when admitted to hospital. The concerns have been aired by Tasmania's RSL, which says forcing families apart isn't the right solution.
Brave in serving our country, many live with the scars of the past, and it comes at a cost.
The concept is to deal with people in mental health and mental stress and never get them into mental illness.
The RSL wants to see more support on our island, with ex-servicemen and women currently separated from their loved ones to get the help they need.
They go to Melbourne, so if you want a playbook of how not to do things, what you don't do is take them away from a family.
The organisation would like to see a dedicated local ward and more specific training for GPs.
Now there will be some that will say, well, you know, there are particular areas where veterans can go. That's true, but the people that deal with the veterans don't have the training for veterans.
The Department of Veterans Affairs says it recognises the importance of ensuring the workforce is equipped with specialist skills. It's helping fund the Military and Veterans Psychiatry Training Program, which delivers up to 10 registrar training posts each year in health settings that specialise in treating military personnel.
The Tasmanian government obviously looks to the Australian government to take the lead here as the level of government with responsibility, but we are supporting them. Good on the RSL for raising this issue. It's very important to our state.
Tasmania is currently home to the largest number of veterans per capita nationwide. More than 10,500 live here, accounting for close to 3% of the state's entire population.
So we need to make sure we've got the right services available to support them when they come by hard times.
With the battle ongoing for so many. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
The state's health union is urging the government to immediately pay pharmacists it claims are owed a significant amount of unpaid entitlements. It wants to see the back pay remunerated by the end of this week, with close to 30 workers from the Royal Hobart Hospital believed to be impacted by the problem.
For most people, it's around about $10,000 to $30,000, and for some people, it's getting near $100,000. And the department have been aware of this for over 18 months.
The Health Department has acknowledged the error and says it's working to resolve the issue and make back payments as quickly as possible. Investigations into the disappearance of a missing teenager has now been underway for 2 weeks. Cheyenne Lee Tatnall was last seen on April 30 in Launceston's Henry Street area. There's been no sign of her since. Multiple searches around the North Esk River have been unable to locate the 14-year-old. Police are continuing their appeal for any information which may lead to finding Cheyenne. Newly independent MP Lara Alexander has backed her decision to step down from the Liberal Party, saying the strong turnout at a rally against the stadium vindicates her decision to walk away.
I do feel that it definitely demonstrates that standing up and being open about our concerns, John's and my concerns around it, was the right thing to do.
She's supporting the calls for the Rockcliffe government to reconsider its priorities, labelling it a shady deal. But Deputy Premier Michael Ferguson is confident his party can continue to work with the former members.
John and Lara, to their credit, as members who are now independent, it's good that they have made it clear that they're not going to try to do anything silly, disrupt the government.
It's also been revealed fellow MP John Tucker tried to resign on March 31. Tasmania's 26th Mother's Day Classic has returned to pre-COVID levels, with hundreds marching for loved ones they've lost to breast cancer. A local florist was also overwhelmed by numbers today, sending hundreds of bunches to mark the occasion.
Packed with people in pink, Bellerive Beach Park was taken over by Tasmanians moving their bodies to benefit someone else's.
It's honestly the best way to start Mother's Day, doing something meaningful.
The Mother's Day Classic is a nationwide event raising funds for breast cancer research. $41.5 million donated in its history.
There's definitely, still more research we need to do to be able to get those sort of early diagnosis, prevention.
The fundraiser was up and running just before 9 a.m.
We've come out to support our cousin Jenny. She passed away about 16 months ago.
My sister-in-law died of breast cancer, so we've done this every year for her.
Icon Cancer Centre's site manager first over the line in the 8-kilometre race.
People diagnosed with cancer, it's a hard time in their life, and as a centre, we, from our administrative teams right through to our clinicians, we like to be there with our patients and support them on that journey.
But it was the 4K walk that recorded the greatest foot traffic. More than 700 participants united on their mission to achieve a world free from breast cancer fatalities. Thousands of Tasmanian lives have been impacted by breast cancer, with around 57 Australians diagnosed each day. Heartfelt messages pinned to a tribute wall for all cancer victims. Meanwhile, the Mother's Day spirit continued to bloom at florists across the state, including Cabbage's flower shop.
It's the busiest week. Every day's been a long day, some into the night sometimes.
A big job, but one worth all the effort.
It's probably one of our favourite times of years as florists, because we are treating special mums and special grandparents, and also just keeping people connected, especially people away from their mums.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Driver behaviour is back in the spotlight, with authorities desperate to make meaningful change. Launching Road Safety Week today, they hope it's a timely reminder to do the right thing.
A united front, all road users being put on notice to reduce the devastating impacts of when things go wrong.
Whether you have a driver's licence or not, whether you're an adult or a child, road safety starts with me.
This week's road safety message a timely reminder, with the state hoping to avoid a repeat of last year's death toll.
It was the worst year in the past decade. 51 lives were lost.
That's 51 families traumatised forever.
Tasmanians told to stop and think before they get behind the wheel, taking the ultimate pledge to keep each other safe.
Think about your driving and your responsibilities. Drive so others survive.
The fatal 5 still a problem in Tasmania. Just days ago, police charged a motorist with high-range drink driving after returning a blood alcohol reading of .301.
It's very disappointing. It's dangerous, and to be honest with you, it's bloody selfish.
Tasmania Police will conduct numerous operations over the next 7 days, stamping out poor behaviour.
The only way we're going to drive the road toll down and reduce serious injury crashes is if we all take road safety responsibly.
12 lives have already been lost on Tasmanian roads this year, and while that's down from 2022, motorists are urged not to become complacent, with serious crashes on the rise. And with growing concerns, the RACT says now is not the time to cut funds from this important issue.
We know that safer roads save lives. We urgently call on the federal government to explain to Tasmanians exactly which roads they don't feel need to be improved.
Making sure every Tasmanian gets home safely. Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian business owner has been forced to take up a payment plan with her energy provider for the first time, as rising electricity costs continue to bear down on operations. Julia Ridges says she was left with no other option and is pleading for more energy relief.
It's a little scary because then you have to also come up with that much money every week and make sure you do it, otherwise the balance will be too much then to ever pay.
This means that they've had to go into payment plans with Aurora, which is just unheard of for a business that's thriving, that's successful, that's been such a big part of this community for a long period of time.
Energy Minister Guy Barnett says around 35,000 small businesses will be eligible for energy price relief rebates from July 1 as part of a jointly funded scheme to reduce cost of living pressures. To soccer, the Clarence Zebras have claimed a 4-0 victory over Taroona in the Women's Super League, and Launceston United held on to their lead, beating the Kingborough Lions 3-2. Meanwhile, in the men's, Launceston United will stay on the bottom of the ladder, the side unable to get on the scoreboard despite having the home field advantage. The Kingborough Lions easily claiming victory 4-0. Geelong was too strong for our Tasmanian NBL1 sides again last night, making the most of the trip to the island. Fresh off success against the Hobart Chargers women's side, Geelong stormed home against the Tawns with a 31-point victory. Despite moments of greatness from the home side, the Northwest Thunder was also unable to keep the momentum on court, now slipping to 3 wins and 6 losses.
Good evening. A cool start to the day today with Hobart and Launceston reaching 17 degrees, 16 in Devonport and Burnie, a top of 15. The islands, St Helens and Friendly Beaches, the state's top today of 18 degrees, 17 in Grove and Smithton, Strawn and Lowhead 16 and just 10 in Lyowini. Low cloud can be seen banking up over the west of the state today, with patchy low cloud over the north and mostly clear skies elsewhere. Further out, a circulation of middle-level cloud is over South Australia, with afternoon convective cloud developing over most of the mainland. Tomorrow, a ridge extends over southern parts of the country between high centres in the Tasman Sea and to the west of Perth, while a cold front crossing the Southern Ocean moves closer to Tasmania. And we'll see northwesterly winds tomorrow 20 to 30 knots, increasing to 30 to 35 knots in the southwest, swells building to 4 to 5 metres in the west and south. And there is a gale warning in place for the southwest coast and a strong wind warning for all other coastal waters and the southwest lakes. Showers are 19 in Hobart and Ouse tomorrow, Dover reaching 18. Launceston increasing showers and 19, 18 in Devonport, Scottsdale 17. 17 and showers in Burnie and Strawn tomorrow, windy and 18 in Stanley. And looking at the east, St Helens and Swansea both 19 and a shower or 2 and 17 in Ross. On Tuesday, showers clearing in the north, then contracting to the west and south during the afternoon. Areas of morning frost and fog on Wednesday with a few light showers about the west and far south. And on Thursday, similar weather continuing with those showers increasing in the evening. 21 in Perth and Melbourne tomorrow, sunny and 22 in Adelaide, a shower or 2 in Sydney and Brisbane and 32 degrees in Darwin. And currently mostly clear and 12 degrees in Hobart, Launceston 11 also mostly clear and 11 in Devonport. And Tom, I hope you spoilt your mum this Mother's Day.
Yes, I got the flowers delivered, that's for sure. Thanks for that, Chelsea. Well, a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there from the entire news team here. Have a great night and thank you so much once again for joining us. Kim's back tomorrow. Good night.